thank you for being so interested in, about the history of the maple tree for Indigenous people. I really want to say thank you for that, because it's important to us too, because we're part of the history of this land. And as Indigenous people, we're not always put in there. So, talking about the maple tree, there's a lot of stories, like even in our communities, they made maple sugar. They tapped the trees to make maple sugar up north, where I come from, up northern Manitoba. But also the Anishinaabe have a story about how, a long time ago, when the people they would just lay under the maple tree and the maple would just drip into their mouths, and they were lazy. They didn't want to do anything because the maple tree just fell into their mouth. So Wisakajak told them, or I guess in Cree it would be Wisakajak, told them that, they became lazy because that maple's just falling there into the tree. So now they had to tap the trees to get that maple and boil it to make that maple syrup or maple sugar, whatever they needed to do. The stories that we have is that it became a food for the people. It was part of the richness of our culture. As when I went back up north, there was only 1 or 2 people that knew how to make maple sugar because of the loss of our culture through colonization, residential school, the reserve pass system, all of that. We lost a lot of the stories and a lot of the ways of sustaining ourselves, and even food sovereignty, looking after our food, all of those things. People lived on this land for thousands of years without, harming anything around them, okay? Because they understood their connection to everything. They understood their connection to the land, to the sun, to the moon, to the stars, to the water. They understood, our Indigenous people understood that connection. And so everything that provided them, with food, they honored that and they revered that and they took care of that. So when we look at the maple tree, like even this maple tree in our backyard, I've not wanted to cut it. It's so huge. If you look at it, it's so huge. And then people say, maybe you should trim it, but I don't want to do that, because unless I know from somebody who knows, how I would do that, because it's the home to the birds and the squirrels and all of that live around here. And then you can see the maple dripping in the spring, and the birds come and they eat that, and it's for them. And you see how big it is around here like that. I just think it's such a magnificent tree. And even sometimes, that makes me want to cry. Because sometimes just come and stand out here and just lean against the tree, and it just kind of looks after me, and I just stand on there, I put my feet on there, and then I'll lean against it, if I'm feeling bad or down, and you know what, it just takes it away. It takes it away. So it cares for us too, it cares for, the tree cares for us. So it provides food and all of that, but it's, it's also a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual connection. Even to here, we haven't cut our grass because we want the dandelions to grow, and we want the bees to be able to, we don't spray any chemicals or stuff like that. We try to, stay as natural as we can within this urban setting, and really value that. Sit outside here. My grandkids play here. The dogs come out here. I come out here and, tap my feet on the ground and, tell Mother Earth, help me to remember who I am. So that's what I do. I come out here and do that. My husband always says, connect to the earth, Mother Earth. So I come out here bare feet or in my slippers all the time, because everything that's in the earth is in our body. So whatever that, tree provides for us, I don't tap it or anything like that, but, I just so thankful for it. I'm so thankful for the stories that it holds, for the minerals and the vitamins that it provides, because I do buy, the pure maple syrup all the time, and I use it in everything. So it provides nourishment for the body, for our mind, for our spirit, everything like that. So, I'm really happy to be able to talk about that, and just share the meaning of our tree here, and I don't ever want to cut it. I know I'll have to someday, but I don't want to do it without maybe doing, maybe a little ceremony or something that, will just honor this tree. Anyways, you just forget your emotional connection to, I just forgot my emotional connection. So thank you for asking about our tree.
As First Nations people, the trees are sacred to us. Like there are many uses, and this is a medicine. The tree itself, the bark, the leaves, those are medicines, and the First Nations people knew how to use these things through visions and teachings from generation. It's also a protection. It protects our home from have a nice shade and everything, and so we have to appreciate what's here. And sometimes we forget, this tree is no good. We'll cut it down. No, there are living things. There's a spirit in that tree.
Yeah.
This is why my wife leads in it, and the spirit of that tree will embrace her, and whatever she's carrying, that tree will take it away, and it goes down to the roots to Mother Earth. So the trees are very sacred to us. Sometimes we talk to the trees and how we feel in this world, because the world has changed so much, it turns upside down. So now our children are lost because of colonization, but we just have to do our best we can and start teaching about what's real. So First Nations people are very spiritual people, and I think we'll never lose that. So thank you to say a few words here.